My name is Dick Gregory. And let me tell you about Dick Gregory. When I was a little boy, people say, "Hey, little Dick." Now, I didn't know they knew something. My name is Dick Gregory. Now, watch this now. I was born on October the 12th, Columbus' birthday. Now, the universe works like this. Little poor, black motherfucker don't know where my daddy is. I don't know who Columbus is. So I thought the school was closed because of me. Is that a hell of a feeling, a vibration to carry from the time you're a little child to believe that everybody know who you are, and so we won't work this day, the banks will be closed? I am Dick Gregory. Yes, yes, yes. And listen to this station. Listen. And when you listen to talk, see if you can hear the music. And when you talk, and learn to pause. Huh? Because if I'm giving you something you never heard, you can't take it as fast. Huh? Learn to pause. And to my black brothers out there, whew, there's a thing called the mother tongue. It ain't the father tongue. Daddies don't count. The university just knock the bitch up and leave. Ain't no go really ever talk about that's my child. Just get the pussy, motherfucker, and go. Leave. Now watch this here. The mother tongue is when you in your mother's belly and you and her are talking to that universe. It's called the mother tongue. It ain't no man tongue. Now, after you take a good pause, listen to this. The mother tongue. You go to a Chinese restaurant today, and they'll take your order in English, but when they're waiting for it, they talking in Chinese, the mother tongue. Now, let me tell you what black folks did. They say, "You got all this education, boy. You better stop talking like a nigga. You won't get the job." So now we don't know the mother tongue. See how it works? There's a universal law. I talked to some space people. Motherfucker said, "Hey man, don't you worry about people say truth ain't never had to be validated by ignorance." And I asked the space guy one thing after I was convinced that I was talking to somebody else. I said to him, I said, "Hey man, when y'all get into the plane and it's hovering, and the next thing you know, y'all going 30 million miles an hour. How you do that?" He said, "We dial speed like y'all dial the radio." Then it makes sense. It's a vibration. And so somewhere, the storm outside, all night long, I was just trying to win. Win, you have to win, you're already a winner. The triple crown. You think that dumbass horse know he won something? You think that horse know? I just won the Kentucky Derby, and I'll be up for the Preakness, and I'll be up. Come on, it ain't about winning and losing, huh? They teach you that so they can control you. So anyway, let's talk about everything. First, you have to be careful because it's a rhythm. The average person has the rhythm, but sometimes you got to make it real loud. If the Catholic Church had to talk as loud as the Black Baptist preacher, everybody would walk out because they didn't go through this week what I went through. If you back to the old days when the black entertainers come out, they change suits every song. And the people clap for the suit. Huh? Because I got to quiet your spirit down. I got to yell and scream because I'm trying to get this out of my head. And then after that, then we settle down and get down to the, when you listen to some of the singers, you hear one thing. I was very fortunate, and you'll understand this, being in music. I used to shine shoes in a tavern, black tavern, and anytime a fight would break out, Hmm. See, anytime you give the slave the day off and they think they're free, they're full of hate and rage, but they know they better not mess with that white boy, so they fight and kill each other. In St. Louis, they had packing houses in East St. Louis, and they had a movie called The Bucket of Blood, and that's where the black folks would go. Didn't know, thought they'd see in the movie, and they'd shoot and cut and kill one another. Now, in Chicago was your major, and a guy wrote a book called Hog Butcher. And if you worked in the packing house, shackling hogs, you couldn't serve on the jewelry because you get used to killing and seeing blood, and you would give a motherfucker the electric chair for kicking a fly. So you have to, and then as that rhythm hits, as you write music, in between breaths, that other beat will come. You say, oh, wow, yes, yes. You didn't invent that. The universe. You just created the atmosphere. Huh? Don't bring me no toast without the butter, and don't bring me no butter without the toast. Huh? And so consequently, when you stop and think about, who you are. My mother told me that Santa Claus was a white man, and she was buying the toys. Now, that's my mama, man. You can get no more fucked up than that. Huh? She was better. So I'm in the tab and shining shoes, and the fight breaks out. The guns get to shoot. And the owner, Bill Reed, run out with his guns under his coat and ran to the jukebox and unplugged it. And I learned then there's something coming out of that noise that he knows about. And then he pulled out his guns and shoot in the ceiling. And said, all right, shut it down. But the first thing he did was unplug that jukebox. So if you're listening and looking, I mean, he my man. But he didn't come out shooting. He ran over to the vendor and unplugged this. I saw that. So when you think about the misinformation, me and my man, we used to go out to the suburbs where the white folks lived and see that black jock on the lawn. So one day I said to Boo, I said, man, something wrong. Jockeys don't carry lanterns. And you know what? That's not a jockey outfit. That's the same type of outfit George Washington and the Revolutionary Army wear. I didn't know. And so all at once, I find out. My mother said, now these rich white folks I work for, they got books that white folk can't read. So if you just be cool and come to work with me, they're gone by 10 o'clock. I'll let you read them. Was the number one military strategist in the history of the planet. Taught his son. So he was 14 years old. So he see George, he said, hey, champ, what's going on? He said, I got a problem. But I can have, no, you can't have. I see it on your face. He said, well, I'm sure the British is going to come where my troops are there. And he said, yeah, I think so. And he said, so what you worrying about? Well, there's a possibility they might come up here. And I can't split my troops. And we don't have time to get back. He says, well, see that river turn there? When he comes around there, he's 3 hours away. I'll take this lantern. And when you see the lantern moving, you know they're coming up here. So George was right. They wiped the British out. He go up to thank my man the next morning, and he froze to death. That's a symbol of loyalty. Miss that. Just think that's some nigger shit. Like white folks want to believe it is. No, that's a symbol. But you get it by just being quiet. Wow, by quiet. Them old farmers, man, the goddamn birds and the bees, they left. Man, when that big storm, there ain't no bird out there singing some love songs to some bitch bird. They hauled ass out of there, man. You know, had an old black woman tell me, I was 6 years old. She said, son, I see something in you. I want to tell you something. She said, hold your hand up. Say, this is August the 12th. So you feel that heat? I said, no, ma'am. It's a hot day. She said, just quiet, just be. So she put her hand under mine, and I could feel the breeze. She said, people think August is the hottest month of the year. No, that's the sun heat leaving, going south. And when the birds feel time for them to go south. Say, but if there's going to come a day, she's telling me this, that they're not going to be able to get the signal. So they won't go where their dinner is. So then they'll start eating the bees. And then your food will leave. That's what she told me way back then. You know, all you do is just listen. Listen to the rhythm. The rhythm. Circumcision. See, my thing is, why would the real God, why would the real God put some skin on my penis that got to come off? Why didn't he just leave it off? I ain't dealing with Sears and Roebuck. Huh? So then I find out that little foreskin they take off, half the size of your thumbnail, and the rich white folks use it for skin grafts. So if this woman get a little pimple, she puts it like you used to patch your bicycle tire. But this just came from God, so to clean up the whole face. That's what this is about. And so, but you listen, you know. You hear the mothers and the fathers said, you hear the baby say, shh. The great people on the planet are baby doctors. Why? Because babies can't talk. So they got to play with the rhythm until they find out what it is. And so that's where it's going. And it's always been there, but if you plugged in, you can't hear it. You can't feel it. If I go to a blackboard and write your name was already there. It just took that piece of chalk to ink it in. It's always been there. Huh? And when you wipe it off, it ain't going nowhere. Huh? Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. What makes today Monday and today Tuesday? What we didn't know is the planet positions. So if you move in 10 miles an hour, and it's 3,000 miles from here to California, then I can count how many hours in a day, how many hours in a week, in a month, in a year, and I can know where that train is because it's traveling 10 miles an hour. Okay? And so that's what the universe is about, that whole piece. Any of y'all have a girl, you comb her hair, she's screaming and hollering. That's God saying, I made that hair nappy, leave it alone. God will send you a message through the job. So one day I read something and I stopped getting my hair cut in 1967. Had a haircut or a shave since then because of the story of Samson. See, they have twist stories so you can't get it. Huh? Twisted so you can't get it. You shave today, they call it 5 o'clock shadows, then why they come back by the evening? Who's trying to tell me leave it alone? And so when you feel that, people who eat with their hands, have a lot of less sicknesses. Why? I look at old black folk, will take hot coffee and holler, and then take some more. Huh? Are you crazy? Well, if I was doing it with my hand, it'd burn my hand, I throw it down. And I wait till it gets cool enough. That's the rhythms. And so I come with it from childhood. You're supposed to sleep with your head north. Little babies turn north, and dumb, ignorant us, we keep straightening them back up. Because Sears and Roebuck said the head should be here. And so I travel all over the world, and I take my little, and wherever say north is, I don't turn the bed, I turn me around north, okay? It's already been here. It's about, one of the great things I've learned is the dinosaur been gone 3 billion years. They were bigger than mountains. I ain't never seen a dinosaur having sex or smiling or eating. They just show me that, And then one day I find out when the dinosaur was here, So was the butterfly. When the dinosaur was here, so was the turtle. Today the turtle's still here. The butterfly's still here. So the universe saying it's about being peaceful, beautiful, and walk slow. So I used to call King the turtle. He said, what do you mean? I said, you're like a turtle, man. Hard on the outside, soft on the inside, and willing to stick your neck out. That's all. That's simple. See, the universe put us here to heal the planet. We joined it. We joined it. The light. You hear a little child get up at night and yell, Mommy, Daddy, turn the light on. Huh? Why? Because it wipes out darkness. Wipes out darkness. And so consequently, if we left here tonight at 11 o'clock and walked 10 miles down the road, and there's a building 3 times the size of a football field, so we opened the door and we'll find the flashlight in there. There's 100 million mice and rats and 40 billion roaches. All you gotta do is turn the light on. They haul ass. No gun. That's what light do to darkness. You gotta manage it so you don't argue with fools. Walmart, man. They hire women that ain't never been to school. Can't read or write. Below minimum wage. They have over 1 million different items in Walmart. And you go up and ask one of them, where will I find the baking soda? Say aisle 17, down by the bottom. So when did she get dumb? I'll go to my doctor, and he looking for his glasses. He got them on. Harvard graduate. So when you stop and figure it out, then you start seeing things. Not the stuff your mother told you. Not none of that. But you was born with that gift. It's that simple. Life is the absence of death. No. Peace is not the absence of war, but the presence of peace. And so where we mess up, we ask people questions and they think because somebody told them they got the answer. I don't know what happens. I don't even know if this life is real. Is this something, Is this another type of tree that we don't know about it? Is this something out of a star? I don't know. Now there's some people that might know. I haven't reached that level. But the thing makes, when the light come on, we have the same light, but we not see the same thing. It's kind of interesting when the guy invented electric. Well, he had direct current. And because that's a violation, 5,000 people would die every month in New York City. And so the real white folks decided, well, that's a small price to pay to have this. So the next thing you know, the Brooklyn streetcars had lights. No place in the world had lights. And then somebody noticed something. Every now and then you hear something go ding, 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 ding. And the folks would get off and run their ass off, man. And they would go like they was dodging something. And not until Tesla came here and told us that alternating current is what you need, then the deaths would cease. So they found out that the vibration of electric would explode and it would run to find a warm body, human or dog, to ground itself. And that's why the ball team named themselves the Brooklyn Dodgers. That's where that came from. The Brooklyn Dodgers. Opera. Opera. And the reason, because in St. Louis where I grew up, I'd go to the opera, sneakers on and knickers on, and I see all these white folks dressed with their little glasses to look at the opera. Whew. I didn't see no raggedy folks. I didn't see no folks there cussing and yelling and pushing. And so that's what I wanted to be around. So I listened to opera, and by the time me and my man was 14 years old, we could sing every opera that ever been written in the history of the planet and in the language they were singing it in. Opera. Then one day, 40 years later, a cab driver picked me up at the airport and said, "You Dick Gregory?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "Well, do you mind this music?" "No, what do you mean?" He said, "Well, about 15 years ago, my cab broke down, and the company only had one cab left," but he said, "but the radio, you can only get the opera." So I listened to it. Then when I got my cab, I kept it on opera. Why? He said, "Because I noticed my tips were bigger." What is it about that music that make me tip you more? And so I listen. I know more about it than most folks because the greatest opera ever been written, Puccini's La Boheme. Then I find out he didn't write it. He found it on a park bench and finished it and put his name on it. How many diehard opera people know that story? Huh? And so I learned my ABC by saying the same thing over and over and over. Now I'm sitting there, my baby done left me. Man, I'm like 6 years old. I don't even know what that means. Now I'm gonna get married and I've been saying my baby done left me. She got to go. I'd already put that in the ether. The ether. Let's say you didn't know where your daddy was. He was in jail. You never got a good education or nothing. And so now you got children. You like to send them to school. So when your child is 4 years old, find somebody to teach them how to play the drum or the bugle. Nothing else, no saxophone, no piano. Why? By law, colleges can only have 85 people on the football team, 400 in the band. See how it works? They go to school. They don't have to worry about getting tired. They don't worry about having to hurt themselves. The rhythm. Why? That's the heartbeat. That's why you in music, you never heard nobody say the marching band's too loud. You ain't never heard nobody say, I don't like that song. That's the heartbeat. I heard that before I came. I heard it in my mama's belly. That's what you listening to. Now let me show you how vicious they are. The military, when you get in, you can't play basketball, you little sissy, and you hear doom doom, doom 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 doom. They play your mama's heartbeat and reduce you back to her wound and build you back as a killer. That's what they do. That's why they don't have marching bands in jail. You would go back to mama's wound and then could be a decent person. That's what this is about. Now, where do you get this from? That's what the rhythm. Don't no bird go to Harvard to find out which way do I find. You know how the slaves got north? Look at the Big Dipper. The Big Dipper in the thumb. When I got there, I knew I was in heaven. That's how. The whole thing. And so that's what you learn just by, and then we used to do something when we were children. If you had a little puppy and the puppy got kind of sick, you put the clock in the box you kept the dog. That's the heartbeat. Now, you hear, like if you had a child while your wife is pregnant, you know where to go get this recorded that you can record her heartbeat. And when the baby's born, if the baby has an attitude or something's wrong, you just turn that record on. And it hears the only sound it ever heard before. There's a movie called The Bridge of the River Kwai. Did you ever see it? Run see it. It's a British movie about the military. And if we left here today and took 12 other people and started marching, anywhere we march over Suspension Bridge, it collapses because the heartbeat. But the Crown Plaza built this huge hotel in Kansas City. Kansas City, big time. They've always had the cards. What's the cards that make that? The big Christmas card, birthday card, biggest card maker. Okay, so people was always coming in, so they had to have good hotels. So in the hotel, they had a crosswalk for opening night, and the band was playing, and the crosswalk popped and killed 200 people. That's the heartbeat. Once you get in the rhythm, this is what this is about. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. So Harvard researched that and found out when you sing that or hear the humming, the blood pressure lowers. The rhythm. Do, re, mi. Can you imagine how dumb we are? We sitting in the movie and I say, I smell something like smoke. What have you ever smelled like smoke that wasn't smoke? You ain't get the fuck out of here. The dogs done left. That mosquito and fly been flying around your puppy, it been gone. You know? So this is when you hip enough and humble enough to understand you my daddy, she's my mom. I didn't come from y'all, I came through y'all. The Jews walked around in the wilderness for 40 years. There's a message in that. They suffered like a dog. Changed one word. Not in the wilderness, I walk through the wilderness. That means I go in and I come out. In, I'm there. I think this is love. This is, God said to the Jews, put the blood on the door. You mean the God that made the whole universe, the rivers, the mosquitoes? If I don't put blood there, he don't know it's a Jew in that house. Oh no, I ain't going on that trip. And so you look and you see. And one day, the biggest problem that we humans gonna have to figure out is culture is a violation of God. Gorillas don't have cultures. Mosquitoes don't have cultures. And so let me show you the continent of Africa. They had spears before there was white folks. Why? Culture. The ebus like this, the oo-oos like this here. So you can't marry my daughter eating that cabbage. It's the culture patterns. See, I didn't realize those are culture patterns. That's why they be fighting each other. Huh? They stole black folks from a continent that never happened. And they brought these different cultures to America, which is a violation to have cultures. So you, the white man, you own me. Your brother own my cousin. And you're not going to let us fight because we your property. So we got rid of the cultures, didn't mean to. That's what America's about to wake up and see. Them niggas out there, they be laughing at. I done dropped all my culture stuff. I'm as pure as I was when the universal God put me here. That's who I am. That's who I am. I wrote a book called Nigger. Then I wrote another one called Up From Nigger. And I say, one day I'll write a book, say nigger no more. I realized that'll never happen because white folks are too ignorant. That'll never happen. So now, my problem is this. If I call a black man a billionaire, they'll laugh. Because that nigga though ain't going to be no billionaire. I call him a nigger, he get upset. How you so sure you a nigger but got doubts about being a billionaire? What's that shit about? Hmm? When I was a little boy, I saw white folks whiter than white folks. It was my nephew, my niece, my aunt, my uncle. Dr. Clark, he was a medical doctor. Ignorant white folks ain't see no nigger doctors. So you tell me I'm dumb and I got this doctor? Hmm? I got this sister writing music? Hmm? It didn't work on me. Hmm? So I'm looking. And I go out to see Aunt Elaine. There ain't a white woman on the planet as white as her. So we saw white folks. So when I get grown, I'm not scared of it. These racist, ignorant, nigger-hating cops didn't see a black person until they had a gun and a badge. Hmm? Gun and a badge. Now watch this. The Egyptians invented the police. They're called conscience on patrol. The color of your conscience is blue. That's why they call men in blue. So then all at once the British took it to another level, called it comfortable on patrol, and gave them a gun with lead. Now, if you had some children and you and your wife put some wallpaper in the kitchen that had lead in it, they'll end up lead poison. So what do you think happens to one of these ignorant, nigger-hating cops that walk around with lead bullets around their belly from 12 to 18 hours? Now let's look at it. More cops in America die every year from suicide than killed in the line of duty. I know that, and the union don't know that. Nobody care nothing about no cop. Okay? The number one divorce occupation is cops. And their second wife is whores. Lad. The cowboys, that's why you have to look, call themselves gunslingers. Why? Because the gun couldn't touch their body. They had to be dead-eye shooting because they couldn't carry extra bullets because the lead would get on. See how? And so now today, that's what we hung with. How you going to change something if you don't know it? So if I had the job of changing cops' behavior, it would be like this here. All cops, firefighters, school teachers. See, if all the cops went on strike, every woman's not going to get raped tonight. If all the firefighters went on strike, the whole country would burn down. I've been looking at this stuff in Canada. The fire, they say they never seen nothing like it. But the amazing thing, nobody died. And I've been telling white folks, if you just leave the damn dog in the house and get out, you won't go back and get. The reason they live with that, they say, fuck the dog. You ain't seen none of them snarling with their little pooch. Them motherfuckers is dead, man. You know, white folks, leave the goddamn dog and run your ass. Now go back and listen to what they saying. They got fire chemists all over the world trying to figure out, 40,000 people had to run their ass off one day. Nobody died. They didn't look back. They said, Lot, don't look back. Them motherfuckers looking back for the dog. So when you sit and you stop and think about the rhythm, now here's another thing. If I enslave you, there's a gas that comes off you. That's why prostitutes wear the heavy perfume, so you don't smell that hoism. When I was a little boy, black folks couldn't work white clubs. They couldn't work TV. They couldn't watch the radio. I thought that shit was corny. Go listen to them motherfuckers. The woman gets the butt of the joke. This is listen to that shit, man. I heard it. I didn't grow up with him, so I know that's why I listen to that Crazy ass shit. I want to hear it. Huh? Take my wife, please. All that bullshit, huh? And I'm a man. I know the most vicious of the two groups is me, not her. But the jokes don't show that. Hmm? And now all them top guys with these new comics and companies, nobody know who Bob Hope is. Hmm? I know that Lucille Ball. Oh, who give a damn? Over made up, huh? Married to a Cuban husband. The way they felt about Cubans, that's how they felt about her. Got her married to a Cuban husband. Come on, y'all. So I'll give it to you. The greatest laugh you ever heard in your life didn't come from a comedian, came from friends or relatives. Hmm? Ooh, Uncle Dudlow comes by every Christmas. Ooh, he funny. Huh? Not Bob Hope. Not this or that. That's what it's about. That's my hospital. That's my hospital. Hmm? We think we can solve stuff just because I'm your dad or you my son. No, no, universal law. How did I get here? My dad, penis, went into my mother's divine. And he ejaculated 500 million sperms. And the one responsible for me is like the one responsible for you. It outran 500 million sperms and got there first. I don't need nobody to tell me I'm somebody. If you tell me you're going to take me to the restaurant tonight and they got 500 million restaurants, I'm going to the best, I know I'm in for a hell of a meal. And the sperms operate a body temperature 2 degrees below your body temperature. That's why it's in that sack, and the old black men used to call it 2 below. And the reason truck drivers could never produce boys, because in the old days the engine was under the seat. And so when them testicles heat up, they couldn't run. Don't nobody wear a jockstrap but a fool. Because when my body heats up, the nuts can't get away because you got them trapped. That's why the Arabs wear the baggy pants. The whole game. The whole game. And once you see it and feel it, why you think your world-class athletes, 99.9% of them can't produce sons that do the same thing? Because the sperms come out so weak. And so again, I'm saying that what you're looking at is the product of the number one out of 500 million. Me, you, her. That's simple. I've been married 56 years. Why? Because I know who the black woman is. Do you know a black woman is the only woman, American, on the planet can take a butter knife and cut your ties to the rim and never been trained? All she asks you is who is Melba, motherfucker. Never. She's been trained. I'm a black man, never been trained. Something comes over her. Her. If you're a cop and I'm halfway unconscious, I've been shot, and you say, you know who did it? Yeah, her. I'm talking about a woman. Hurricanes is named after the spirit of a black woman. All hurricanes started in West Africa at the very spot where the slaves was put on the ship. All hurricanes stay underwater and follow the same path that the slave ship followed. No slave was offloaded off the ship till it got to the Caribbeans. Hurricanes hit the Caribbeans first time they come up above water and go all the way north to Maine and right across the street is Canada. Canada never had a slave because Canada never fucked with a black woman like America did. Oh, you pay for that. So I make millions. I never had a check in my life. My wife handled it because I know who she is. It's a game. That baby came out of her, not me. Hmm? I walk in the house, I faint. Huh? She pick up the baby and run, and ain't no gas in the car. She don't need it. Just the atmosphere puts the gas in that goddamn car. And when she gets there, she stops crying and explains to the doctor what happened. Now cry, baby. Huh? Now cry. That's what it's about. And it's there. And when you go see the doctor, if the doctor was hollering and screaming, I was a little boy, I saw a black guy shoot a guy 15 times. And the guy that he shot, nigga, I know you didn't shoot me, you little pimp ass motherfucker. I know you didn't shoot me. And he kept telling himself that. And said the rigid segregated pattern, I lived in the same neighborhood. The guy driving the ambulance lived in. You know what he told me? Man, I saw something, I can't believe it. About a year later, I figured it out. He kept telling himself the motherfucker didn't shoot him. And the brain grabbed it. So he sure didn't. That's how it works. I didn't have none. Oh man, I was into that shit. I ain't never fucked a white woman, not because of my love for black women. I'm scared of white women. Huh? I went to the movie, I saw Dracula, Wolfman, Frank, they all came out of her ass. Not no black one, and I believe the bitch still carrying that gene. I don't want to go in there where a gorilla gonna grab my dick. So that's what that's about. Billionaires live to come there from all over the world. A Playboy clean. Man, if a cop stopped you and see the Playboy clean, if you're a nigga, he think you stole it. If you white, he know he messing with something that's above his pay scale. That was the Playboy. Why? The book. The book didn't have no trashy shit in it. It was the greatest minds in the world would do articles for Playboy. So you could walk down the street with Playboy when you had to hide Hustler. Huh? That's what it was about. In Chicago, a little old scrawny looking guy happened to look like Popeye. At that time, 99% of nightclubs was run by the mob. And a little frail, fragile guy like him integrated black comics. And the world ain't been the same since. You go back to the butterfly. It's about beauty and kindness. Bob Marley. Office called me one day and offered me $40,000 if I'd be his opening night at Harvard Yard. And I said, no, I don't want to work with him. He's so humble, he get on a plane, man. He make more money in one world concert than I make in 2 months. He said, I just can't let this happen to me. But I'm asking you why. And I said, Buffalo Soldier. They sent them niggas out the west to kill the buffalo to starve the Indian to death. He said, I didn't know that. I said, my grandmother didn't know it neither. But she's not a genius like you. Then I look at, we talk right now. The number one killer of young people in Jamaica is bleaching cream. So how black are they? Did you hear me? Bleaching cream. So when you just shut up and look and stop, then you see stuff. And so that's how I felt about the Playboy Club. And you know, they hate him because nobody's telling you, this man changed the whole world. This guy with comedy bigger than comedy. The world's changed. Forget about black folks. The biggest movies, they don't win nothing, is romantic comedies. That's because people got used to it. I don't care what color it comes in. When I first hit big, I couldn't tell no jokes about the airline. 99.9% like never been on an airplane. So I had to take the ones I would tell and rewrite them about Greyhound. So I don't know what you white folks go to the airline and they make you walk 6 blocks to get on the plane. Black folks wouldn't tolerate that. They'd bring that bus up to our toe. They lose our bags. They don't tell us we don't know where they are. They lose our bags. 3 blocks before the bus get into the terminal and make an announcement. All the bags got ripped off in Memphis, so don't hang around waiting. They ain't coming. The whole thing. But Hefner changed it all. I opened up that first night. Aretha Franklin was the floor under me, playing her own piano. And now the prime things in the world, she got it at Playboy. The folks came in. Good meal, man. Hefner was heavy. When everybody was ripping off folks, nightclubs, padding expenses and all that shit, Hefner gave you a good double drink for one, and everybody like to think they getting over ripping off somebody. Anybody go to a nightclub for dinner is a fool. There ain't no fine quality people going to a damn nightclub for dinner. They go to restaurants to eat. Huh? Cook there, listening to the blues and put the wrong shit in the pie. Motherfucker put the salt in instead of the cream or booger. I'll go there and eat some shit I can't even pronounce. Fuck that, man. Let me give me a Big Mac. Thank you, Hefner. My man. If I came in here and y'all wrote a song for me to sing and become #1, y'all the boss. Because in order to get another hit, I got to make y'all like me. See? The crow dart sings as sweetly as the lark when neither are tended. When ain't nobody listening, that sounds of the jungle. Huh? And so when you sit and look at you, did a thing for Russian TV, man. It went to 700 million people that never would have heard about Dick Gregory. Had a vibration of the other stuff. So that's what it's about. If you hurting and you feel bad, you won't hear no boogie. We hear no goddamn jazz. And they talk about, oh, the black guy, oh, Dizzy Gillespie and Miles Davis. Oh, they told why, fuck you, nigga. Nina Simone, a black woman, cussed out a whole state, Mississippi, goddamn. No black man musician have ever talked about one of them nasty, low-life states. Huh? Billie Holiday talked about niggas hanging from a tree. Find me a black entertainer that ever said that. And then things start changing. Y'all in the music, you know, some sound, you're trying to hit it. Oh, everybody's clapping, but it's something there you didn't get. Nobody know it. And then you at your brother's house playing with his daughter. And the baby say, ah, that's the sound you was looking for. Fucking sound you was looking for. Ah. That's how it works. That's how it works. And it will always work that way. Listen to this again, then I'm going to get out of here. I said the world's record in the high school mile. When even black folks was convinced they couldn't run long distance. The whites could run long distance, blacks could run short distance. We thought that was genetically. So I ran faster the mile than anybody on the planet. Little ignorant, poor, believing what white folks said. In the ghetto, don't know who my daddy is. So I was so vicious. My name is Richard Gregory. When white folks took it over, it's Dick Gregory. You know, my mama was so honest. She said to me one day, she said, Richard, I need to talk to you. I did something awful last week. I said, you down there in Southern Illinois University, you ever heard of this guy they talking about named Dick Gregory? I didn't tell her it was me. Because she wouldn't have believed it. She died not knowing that was me. My mama. The black woman couldn't come to my graduate. I was the greatest athlete on the planet. She couldn't come because she thought her shoes would embarrass me. Black mama. Black mama. Bonnie and Clyde, they make that nasty whore a star. Put on the movies. She's a star, you know, but old white hoe. And what I like what this white boy said, if you see something, what they tell you, the new slang? Really talking about terrorists. If you see it, call it, I love it. If you see it, tell it. So the white boy told me, I said, look at them ugly white women. I didn't say that. He told me if I see it, call it. I'm telling him what he told me to say. Before I was scared. Now I'm scared now. I think if I don't call what I see, I'm not paid. Look at that ugly white woman over there. And the only thing Trump ever said to me, see, when he called that white woman, I ain't never heard a white man call a white woman, and she ugly and he ugly. You understand? And so, and she one of the biggest women in business. Ran for president. You know why? She saw anybody dating her. She didn't have nothing to do. Go home and do her homework. She do all kind of anybody taking her to no prom. And I'll claim the fact, ooh, she's so smart. She like that. Because they ain't gonna never say she got big legs. Nice looking feet. You know, white men do all kind of freaky shit. Now black men look, kiss some toes and shit. We used to do that shit. And one day I decided I was going to do it, and she pulled her shoes off, and I said, I ain't kissing a bunion. You know, Ava Gardner in the movie, The Barefooted Contessa, she didn't have no bunions. Don't put no bunion in my mouth. Anyway, thank you.